fuck is going on with the light heavyweight division right now? It seems to be in a bit of a mess. But before I go into that, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe as I have brand new videos every single week. The light heavyweight division has always been a strange division, but it's getting weirder and weirder. The #1 ranked fighter wants to move down a division, the real contender isn't fighting for the title, and the champion is facing someone coming off a suspension. What is going on? Alex Pereira is facing Khalil Rountree at UFC 307. It's a fun fight for sure, but does Rountree really deserve it? Let's not forget he's coming off a suspension for illegal use of PEDs. He of course said it's unintentional, but we've heard that excuse time and time again. But you cannot get a title shot coming off a suspension. Who does he think he is? John Jones? It's just ridiculous. Look, I'm not going to pretend I understand anything about PEDs. I really don't, and I get bored of people pretending they do. But you just don't get to take these kind of substances and get a title shot. And even if you take the drugs out of the equation, Rountree's last wins were against Chris Daukaus and Anthony Smith. That is not a credible resume for a title shot. But what are Rountree's chances of beating Alex? Look, anything is possible because Rountree is on a great run right now, but let's not forget he's been KO'd by Cutelaba and Johnny Walker, and I know MMA maths doesn't always add up, but I think it will this time. But you never know. Now that Rountree is on the juice, he might pull something out of the bag, though I am expecting an early KO for Alex Pereira. Though why is Rountree even getting this title shot? It does feel as though UFC 307 was put together in a bit of a rush, but it's felt like that all year for Alex. UFC 300, UFC 303, and now 307. We all know Magomed Ankalaev was supposed to be getting the title shot next, but according to Alex, Ankalaev was offered the fight at UFC 307, but he turned it down because he wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi, and now he's fighting Ratchik at UFC 308 instead. And I tell you what, I am getting fed up of these contenders thinking they get to call the shots. If he's not willing to fight the champion on the champion's terms, then fair enough, he shouldn't get the title, he can go fuck himself. That's what I think. But I do expect we'll see Ankalaev versus Alex early next year, though with how active Alex is, you never know, we might get to see them fight before the end of the year, maybe at UFC 310. And now where does this leave the rest of the contenders, especially Yuri Prochazka? Because he could go out, he could fight Ankalaev, he could fight Rountree, he could get the win. But even if he manages to beat these guys, he won't get a title shot because he's lost to Alex now in 2 back-to-back KO losses. Well, not back-to-back, he did have a fight in between against Ratchik, though he didn't look the best in that fight either. And the trouble is, when you're in a division like this with a dominant champion, it just feels like now there is nowhere for him to go. So Yuri is talking about moving down to middleweight and that he wants to fight Dricus du Plessis, and I actually think Yuri moving down a weight is probably the right decision. He's not overly big for 205, so I think he could make the cut reasonably well. But does he deserve a title shot? Absolutely not. He has lost 2 of his last 3 fights and has come off a brutal KO loss. And as much of a fan I am of Yuri, he does not deserve a title shot. He needs to face a top contender in that division first. And I think the ideal opponent for him would be Israel Adesanya. 2 former champions, 2 high-level strikers putting on an absolute war. It's a fight that I would love to see, and I think it'll settle Yuri's place within this division. But whatever happens in light heavyweight, it's a division that has an incredibly active champion, and hopefully we'll get some more exciting fights in the future. Thank you for watching. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really helps the channel out.